Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. So excited you're here because we're doing my old school April highlights video, 90s yearbook style. You're gonna know what I mean by that here in a minute. Also, I know my hair looks absurd. That is very much intentional. Believe it or not, I used to walk out of my house looking like this all the time. And back in the 90s, it was a big hit. I used to go to the skating rink with my hair in these little baby pigtails with the butterfly clips and all, and it was a pretty big deal. Also, I had the glitter, like I had the hair glitter, my face glittered, glitter all over the place. I thought it was pretty cool. So, old school April, I had the best time with. I planned for this event all year. I keep books in a little stack that I collect all year. Kelsey puts a lot of work into it. She and her co-hosts, they put a lot of time and effort, energy into this event, and it really does show. It's a great time. I had so much fun with it. I even discovered some new favorite books. I had a freaking blast. I'm really excited to share my favorites. I ended up reading 15 books, which was less than last year, and that's fine. I'm overloaded with appointments right now. I didn't get to everything I wanted to do, but I did have a lot of fun with what I did get to do. So I made the most of it. I had a good time. And the books that I did read were really good. I had a lot of 5-star reads, a lot more than normal actually. By average, I had a lot of 5-star reads. So I'm sharing with you my favorites. Instead of listing out every single thing I did for Old School April, I'm just gonna give you my top favorite things that I did. And I'm gonna do it 90s yearbook style just to jazz it up a bit. Just thought that would be fun and keep it interesting. Let's get into it. Page 1 of the yearbook is most likely to crash a sleepover. And this is the one that I would bring to a nostalgic sleepover. And this is gonna be actually a movie. We're gonna start things off with a movie, and that is Together.
I have this dream that I don't tell many people about. That's so seedy. I'm gonna get one too, because I plan to make a buttload of money with this.
A buttload? How much is a buttload?
$1,000. I based it on the fact that one time I fit $5 up my butt. And well, not to brag or nothing, but I think that I could fit way more up there. Way more. Easy.
That was actually the clip that my friends and I would quote all the time. And it's perfect, and the perfect one that I would bring to a sleepover because I actually watched this at a sleepover. At the time, I had never heard of this movie. My friends kept going on about it, and they were anxiously awaiting the movie to come out. It finally came out, and they said, we got it. It came out. We got the movie. You need to come over to our house for a sleepover. So I went over there, and we had this sleepover, popcorn and pizza, if I remember correctly. And it was so funny. It's a parody making fun of boy bands. And it is hysterical, as you saw from the clip. Like, that was the one that we would quote randomly in class or wherever, and we would all just laugh about it. And it's the one that I remember the most too. That's the scene that I remember the most, but there are other scenes that are really hysterical too. So yeah, that's the one that I would definitely bring to a sleepover. Most 90s outfit energy. And that would hands down go to Birthday Party Demon by Wendy Dalrymple. Obviously, this is a book. This is one of the books that I really enjoyed this month. Fashion was a huge part of this book. There was a lot of 90s fashion references, and it was a really good time. I'm not going to go too far into any of these books because I've already gone on about this a lot. And my Old School April playlist will be linked down in the description if you want to see my videos of Old School April. It'll have last year's videos as well because I don't have enough videos to be separating them into every year. But this is involves a 16th Sweet 16 slumber party, and there are 3 besties, and it's a great time. But it involves one of them being possessed, and she ends up trapping her friends in a fashion catalog. Not gonna tell anything else about it, but it is absolutely hilarious, a really great time, and The fashion catalog, of course, is where all the fashion comes in. There are some scenes in here that made me laugh out loud. Just really great. But I had a really good time with it. And you could tell by the cover that it's really fun. Most likely to bring the party. This one is not going to be a book or movie. It's going to be an activity. And that is the slumber party. So as you can see, that is the big event of Old School April, and it is where everybody comes together on YouTube Live, and it's so much fun. The goal is Kelsey's big goal is to last all night, and the some of the co-hosts or several of the co-hosts they'll pop in and out, but they get on there too. It is so fun. You don't have to drink, but some people, they'll have drinks and snacks, and there will be some crafts involved or sometimes games involved. Some of the best conversations happen on there. Some of the funniest conversations happen on there. It is so hilarious. Oh, I have the best time. But yeah, I actually ended up staying up past my bedtime, which is not like me, but I was laughing so hard. I'm trying to explain to my husband what's so funny. He doesn't get the joke. But yeah, it was, I think that's my favorite part of the whole event is the slumber party. I stayed on there for a while actually. And yeah, it's a freaking blast. Most likely to be a cult classic. And you could probably guess this one. If you've listened to my reviews, you could probably guess this one. And that is B-Movie Bloodbath by Isaac Nightingale. Looks like a VHS cover. There's what looks like a sticker on here that says cult classic. If this were a movie, I could see this being a cult classic. It plays out like a movie in my mind. I could see the scenes. I could see the characters. They're so vivid. There's so many interesting characters in this. The plot is very unique. It's very interesting. And the main character, Knight, he goes by Knight. You really feel for him. You root for him the whole time. He goes through so many wild scenarios. He ends up doing time for a crime that he didn't commit, and he wants vengeance. So that's his whole goal, but he has to do time first. When he gets out, that is his goal. And I just got book 2 actually, and I cannot wait to see what adventures await him because if book 1 is any indication, things are going to get wild in book 2 as well. And according to the author, he thinks book 2 is better, and I'm very curious. Very wild. Like I said, I cannot wait to see what characters come back in book 2 because I kind of got attached to some of the other characters as well. But yeah, this was freaking nuts. It was completely insane. So many crazy things happened. Definitely. But if any of them are going to be a cult classic, it would be that one. Best throwback vibes. I'm going to go to a show for this one, and that is Dawson's Creek.
Be like family.
8 hours? We're gonna murder each other.
Well, just don't get any blood on the books. And I mean that.
Anybody want some gum?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh my god, Pacey, what'd you do to your beak? Get into a car accident while picking your nose?
No, actually.
This one gave me such nostalgia because I remember walking down the street to my friend's grandma's house and watching this with my friends. So much fun. I think we all had a crush on Pacey. I think maybe one of us liked Dawson more, but most of us had a crush on Pacey. And we were so invested in this show, and just being able to see it come to life and waiting for the next episode. I loved it. Having snacks and figure out what snacks we were gonna have while watching it. It brings back all those memories. I loved walking down there every week and watching it with them. I think that's the reason I love watching it so much now, is because it reminds me of those times. And yeah, I remember what their grandma's house looked like. I can even remember her phone number. So I love it so much. Biggest hot mess. And this would be either the messiest plot, messiest character, messiest relationship, something like that. And for this one, I think it would be hands down Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. This would be Linda. Linda would be the the hot mess character, and she's very interesting, and she to me was likable. I liked her. She was very interesting, and she was kind of a hot mess, and you never knew what she was going to say. I don't even know if she knew what was going to come out of her mouth sometimes, but she is sexually aroused by airplanes. She is attracted to airplanes. Her desire is to marry one of her suitors, and to be chosen by one of her suitors as his soulmate. How will she know that she's his soulmate? By dying in a plane crash. That's how she will know she's been chosen. She will die in a plane crash. This was not just one note. I thought this was all going to be about her attractiveness to airplanes. I thought that's all this was going to be about. It wasn't. It was about female friendship as well. Her friendship with her co-worker, Karina. So the female friendship was a big theme in this as well. I loved the friendship aspect. It was also about fitting in. It was about not just fitting in, but fitting in as yourself. You know what I mean? Like not fitting in as anybody else but yourself. So I liked that. Learning to accept yourself, it was the desire to be accepted as yourself. So I love that aspect of it, and this whole, female friendship aspect of it. I really enjoyed this a lot. But yeah, she was definitely a hot mess. But I couldn't help but like her though. She was very interesting. And aside from the airplane aspect, because she did hide that part of herself away from people. Like she just told people she was interested in travel because, she told people how much she liked airplanes. People may frown upon that. Aside from that, she was unapologetically herself. She would just, whatever was in her brain came out of her mouth, aside from the airplane part of it. Other than that, she just was unapologetically herself. I liked that about her. She was very interesting. She was a very fascinating character. But yeah, hot mess definitely. But I really love this book. Cutest retro moment. I'm gonna go with an activity for this one. And that was going to a drive-in diner from my childhood. This was for a curveball. This was posted by Lauren with Happy Haunts Library. She posted a curveball to go to someplace that felt nostalgic. And that could be someplace you actually literally went to when you were younger, or to go to a place that just felt nostalgic. I chose to go to actually my hometown, took a little road trip, and went to this drive-in diner. And you actually pull up, you honk, and then they come out and take your order. I mean, you can go in too, but I choose the drive-up option because I actually brought my own water because I'm weird about tap water, and I can't drink soda. I didn't know if they had lemonade. So I'm really weird about drinks. So anyhow, pulled up and I didn't even have a chance to honk. The service was so good. They just came right out and was like, "Hey, what can I get you?" And I was like, "Well, I've been here in over 20 years, so I really don't know. Maybe a cheeseburger and some onion rings." Cheeseburger was just okay. Like it was very greasy, but that could be because I don't like burgers a whole lot. So that could be me. Could be a me problem. So I don't know if it just wasn't as good as it used to be, or if that's just me. Onion rings were great. They were really good. That was just fun. I loved going there. It felt very nostalgic to me. It brought up the memories of going there with my grandparents. I could remember it. Like it was very vivid in my mind when I pulled up. It just brought everything back. It was very nice. So I loved that. So it was a very sweet, nostalgic moment. I loved going there. I would love to have gone to other places more, but none of them were open. So they were all gone. So but it was really nice. It was definitely a sweet, cute moment. I loved that challenge. Best VHS Energy. That would definitely be Bad Movie Night by Patrick Lacey. Even the cover feels it, but it just feels very grainy. And this is, Bad Movie Night. This is about movies. I love the way movies are described. I love the way that they feel. I love the way that the whole book feels. It's kind of trippy. It was unexpected. I really liked it. 5 stars. All of these I'm telling you about are 5 stars. These are my 5-star reads. This deals with a very rare cursed VHS tape, and it does have that grainy sort of feel to it. But yeah, definitely VHS vibes all the way. I really enjoyed this. I can't say a lot without giving anything away because it's a short book. It's a novella. I really liked it though. Very unexpected. And yeah, I loved it. I can't say a lot, but I really loved it. Most likely to start drama on AIM. I'm gonna go for a movie on this one, and that would be hands down Aaron Brockovich.
Look, now you may want to, now that you're working here, you may want to rethink your wardrobe a little.
Why is that?
Well, I think some of the girls are a little uncomfortable because of what you wear.
Is that so? Well, it just so happens I think I look nice. And as long as I have one ass instead of two, I'll wear what I like, if that's all right with you.
She's a force, right? If you haven't watched this, highly recommend it. She's a single mom. She's a force, like I said. She would stop at nothing. And she's behind a cause. You know, she gets behind a cause, and she wants to do what's right. But also, like I said, she has all these obstacles in her life too, because being a single mom, she has to deal with a sitter. She doesn't have any help. And she's trying to do it all. She has kids. She has kids that she has to make a priority, but then she also is trying to help people, and she has her work, and she's trying to do everything and trying to juggle all these things. And it's very relatable, at least it was for me, but it was very relatable. And whenever she goes in there to get a job, she's one of those that will stop at nothing. She's like, no, this is what I want, and I'm gonna get it. And she's very assertive, but she has to be, you know, like she was in a no-win situation, and she wasn't getting any help, and no one would give her an opportunity, and she just needed it. And she was in a situation where she was gonna lose everything if she didn't. So I just love her, and she's very snarky, but I freaking love her so much. Like I said, if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. Next up, we have Most Likely to Age Well, and that would be Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. This is one I could feel people are going to be reading for years and years, and are going to look back on it for years and still be calling it nostalgic, and still be calling it, you know, classic, or, you know, because this is set in the 60s. I was born in the 80s, and even I feel the nostalgia in this. That's why I say most likely to age well. I've already talked this to death, but this is about growing up. It's about learning the harsh reality of growing up, and the harsh reality of people not always learning that not all people are kind, and not all situations are kind, and kind of losing that innocence of childhood, I guess, and learning that not all people are good. But this was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. There were so many great characters in this. There are so many great lessons in this. The magic of childhood is captured in this so perfectly. I could not get enough of this. Yes, it's a chunky book, but it's again one of those that I didn't feel like any of it was wasted. It was not. I feel even at 600 pages, I flew through this because I couldn't put it down. So freaking good. It's one of my new favorites. It's coming, as far as coming of age stories, this is definitely one of my new favorites. I absolutely love it. I'll be talking about it for years, and I'll be recommending it forever. Absolutely obsessed. Excellent characters, some great villains too. Some very real villains, but yeah, really good. Most likely to be banned from Blockbuster. That would be Kill Hill Carnage by Tim Meyer. This one would definitely be banned for being too gory. I expected this to be a typical slasher, I expected, you know, just some typical kill scenes, one-note characters, no depth. That is not what I got with this. The kills were definitely epic, really great, very original kill scenes. Excellent. The characters were not one note. The characters had depth, they had history. They were not base level at all. The plot was also not base level. There were layers to this. It was excellent. The way it all came together was perfect. This had multiple timelines. There were different characters to keep up with and different plots to keep up with, but it wasn't confusing at all. And the characters were all very interesting. I freaking love this. It was very original, and I really need more. Like, I don't know if there's going to be a part 2, if there already is a part 2. I don't know. It didn't end it on like a crazy cliffhanger or anything, but I really need more. I would love more of this world because I was very into it. The one that felt like a hug. I couldn't choose just one on this one, so I just chose crafts in general. One would be this coloring, Goosebumps coloring page from The Haunted Mask, which is my favorite of the Goosebumps books and my favorite of the episodes. I love this. I love to just get out of my head for a little bit and just color. And I didn't watch TV or anything while I colored. I just listened to music, but I enjoyed just getting out of my brain for a little bit. The other was the Friends diamond painting coasters. And I won't show you all of them because I've already showed you. I'll show you a couple of my favorites. That would be the turkey one. I love this scene from Friends. And this one here, because this is another one of my favorite scenes. Pivot. So cute. Now we have most likely to star in a Lifetime movie. And for that one, it would be Blood on the Tracks Volume 2 by Shuzo Oshimi. Now, this one isn't nostalgic. This one was for a curveball. Who was it that posted this curveball? Was it Megan? Megan? Shit. Okay, I don't remember who posted the curveball for this, but I will put it here and I will link all the channels down below. But the curveball was to read a manga or watch an anime or both. And I didn't have time for the anime, but I did read this. So good. I'm really enjoying the series. It is, so the reason it was for a Lifetime movie was because it involves a toxic family, like a family drama situation, because it's a toxic relationship between a mother and son. Very toxic. She is a very overbearing mother. And it's that whole like slow burn, and you have the sense of dread the whole time. And you can like feel it in the pit of your stomach because it feels so real. It's a very realistic situation. And it's not gory so far or anything like that, but you just have that sense of dread the whole time. You can feel it. You feel it coming, and just, it's very uncomfortable. And both books so far felt that way, just very uncomfortable, but it's really good. And finally, we have the one I can't stop thinking about, and that would be The Despicable Fantasies of Quentin Serganov by Preston Fassel. So good. This had such a very unique premise, unlike anything that I've ever read before, and that's why I can't get out of my brain. And just such an epic, very satisfying plot. This follows two timelines. One is from 1995, the other one is 2002. 1995, Quentin is a professional wrestler, and he ends up losing his wrestling career. So his wrestling career ends pretty abruptly, and then in 2002, he has been turned into a dinosaur. So, yeah. And also in 1995, he's in love with this other wrestler, Wave. And it is at a time when gay relationships were very much frowned upon. And yeah, so, and then in 2002, he's been turned into a dinosaur. So you're trying to figure out, like, it's going back and forth between those two timelines, and it's kind of, you're kind of piecing together how exactly he got to where he is now, what happened to his wrestling career, and it's going back and forth. It's very much a revenge story. That's all I'll really say. There are a lot of 90s references, including Pretty in Pink. I freaking love the Pretty in Pink reference. So good. It's so good. That's all I'll really say, because it's pretty short and I don't want to give anything away, but just know that it is freaking excellent. The plot is really good. There are some really funny parts. There's gore, there's violence. It's everything I needed. It's everything I didn't know I needed. And it's just really good. I originally saw this on Kelsey's channel, and yeah, it's everything I didn't know I needed. And I already want to reread it. It's one of those that I want to reread. And I want to recommend to everybody. And if you love weird books, like weird horror, or just, yeah, it's excellent. And LGBTQ rep, obviously, it's so well done. As far as plot goes, it's really good. But yeah, definitely different, and a very unique plot, and it's one that won't get out of my brain anytime soon. If you participated in Old School April, let me know down in the comments what was your favorite part. And if you didn't, let me know if you plan on participating next year. I would love to know. So next week, I haven't decided yet what my video is going to be next week. I never gave you a March wrap up. It's just like, I didn't tell y'all what I was doing in March. I don't know what happened. Old School April, I got wrapped up and stuff. So I haven't decided next week what I'm doing exactly. Also, I have a procedure next Tuesday. I'll be out the same day. Like, it's not anything too crazy. Honestly, I don't fully know what they're doing, which sounds really like irresponsible of me, but by the time they got to the explanation, Alec was hurting so bad I wasn't paying attention, because they like bent my back all different directions. And so by the time he was explaining things, I really didn't care. So it sounds really bad, but I was like, whatever. But yeah, I have bone spurs in my back, and then in his words, my lower vertebrae is melting into the like larger bone at the base of my spine. I don't remember what the word is for the other bone. I don't remember. He like showed me on this like statue. He showed me on this like figure thing. So I don't remember what the word is for the other bone, but they're like melting together. So they're doing a procedure next Tuesday to do something with my back. And it sounded like it was kind of like they're gonna see if this works, to see if it helps. But like, if not, I don't know what they're gonna do next. I don't know, we'll see. But also I have like arthritis too in my back, so I don't know, we'll see. I don't know. But anyways, so if I don't feel like doing a video next week, I won't. Because I really don't know. They really didn't tell me what to expect after that. Like, they just told me that I would need somebody to drive me home, but then they didn't tell me anything else. Like, they didn't explain. They really didn't tell me what to expect after that, so I don't know. So like, if I don't feel like doing a video next week, then I won't, but if I do, you'll get one. So I don't know. I'm pretty tough. Like, I've had 6 surgeries, so like I don't anticipate it being that big a deal. So it should be fine. You should get a video next week, but if not, if I don't feel like it, then I won't. I'm not gonna put any pressure on myself at all. I never do. So it should be fine. Anyways, either way, I'll see you soon. And if I'm not gonna do a video, I'll just put a post out there saying you'll get a video the next week. But either way, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.